In this lecture I'm going to introduce you and explain to you the drawing tool. So it's this one here. So if we're on here, we just click on this, and there's our drawing tool. Now it allows you to draw shapes predefined, although you can manipulate them to different sizes, of course. There's two rectangles or squares depending on how you want to shape it, but it's basically four-sided shapes. So this is the one where the corners are pointed. This is the one where the corners are rounded, and this is for curved or rounded shapes. And this one here is simply to draw a line. Now there's something to bear in mind. When we were using the paint bucket, the colour for the paint bucket that was being used is this. Now if you notice across the top here, there's a number of different options. Now I don't bother with mode. I do use opacity, and I do use border size and fill shape, and or depending on what you want. Now you can either draw a shape where it's no border on it, it's just the middle, or you can have it where it's a border with no middle. So let's demonstrate that. So for instance, say now to explain it, the color that you select here will be the border. So the color here will be the border color. The color here will be what's the shape inside it. So if you didn't have a border, of course, when you set it to 0, then you were only using this, you didn't want a border on it, you could just simply use that color there. You wouldn't need to worry about whatever color that's on, because it wouldn't apply. Now you can change the size of the border by sliding up and down this, or you can simply go in here and type a number in. And so let's try it. So this we've got a white border and we've got a pink middle. So let's draw something around here, and as you can see, it gives you the white border and the pink inside. You could do it so that you didn't want a border, so you could click inside here and type the figure 0, and if you draw it now, there's no white border, just the fill only. Okay, and that's what you would do there. Opacity would be depending, if we want it to be seeing through. So the higher the opacity, the more it shows up. The less opacity it is, the more see-through it is. So let's draw that again to show you. So that's on 100. So let's undo it. So let's change the opacity. So let's go down to about half, about 46 is there. Again, though, you can type the number in here. Now if we draw it now, you'll notice how it's less. We do that on even much lower, so say 10, and draw a small one here. You'll notice how that's almost invisible. It's letting the color behind show. If that was a green behind, the green would be showing through. So it's basically, and if you made that 0 altogether, you would actually be drawing the shape, but you wouldn't be able to see it. So there's actually a shape there, but it's not any opacity at all to it. So that's what we do there, and these options are the same for this shape and this shape. So just remember that the colors, this is the border color if you want a border, or you can type in 0 to have no border, and this is the fill shape, and you can select or uncheck that box to remove that. Okay. The line tool, if you select that one, again we have opacity, so that's on 0, just slide that all the way up to 100 again. Again, I don't bother with mode. Size, so one might be a little bit too small, so you've got to remember that light border, this is the color, because it's not giving you any color box here anyway, so you can see that it's going to be the color of your line. So if I were to draw, click on it there and drag the mouse, as long as I'm keeping hold of my left mouse button is down, that line will not be drawn until I release the mouse, so I can just position it just about where I want it and then release. But that's not a very big line, unless we zoom in maybe to see it clear. You can see it now, but we have to zoom in quite a way, so you might want to make that a bit bigger. So let's make that a 10 and do that again. So we want it like that, or whatever size you want. Again, though, you can do it that way or whatever way you want. It goes all up to 100, so you can sort of get an idea of the size of the line there. Okay, so that can be useful, and some things you want to draw lines, underline text in your book title, or something like that. Okay, so that's your drawing tool, straightforward.